So.
Now we're recording.
And away she goes.
And she's gone.
Yeah.
Mr. Dave Meyer, where are you guys at? What part of the country are you guys in?
You know, today we flew into New Jersey.
Okay.
We're at an owners roundtable with More Floods Group.
Okay.
And that starts Friday. I think it's Friday, Saturday.
Okay. More Floods. What is that?
So More Floods they kind of refer to themselves as the unfranchised, but essentially it's a licensing for territory for marketing techniques and stuff like that we started with when we first started the company.
Perfect. Okay, so it's been successful. It's got a good ROI for you.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. So we made the decision to go independent and go with More Floods initially versus signing on with Surf Pro.
Okay.
So that was back in 2009.
Did you have headset for me?
Hold on a second. I gotta mute somebody. I think it's Sean Ivory. Where are you at? Sean, mute yourself.
Chris,
hold on.
lady.
Join the meeting.
Mute. Get some really bad. There we go. All right, Dave, I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. Just saying that when we first started Certidry, we had the option of Surf Pro, signing on with Surf Pro for our territory or going independent. And when I researched, just the other options, More Floods is one of the marketing things that we found. And that's how we've built our mitigation companies that way.
It's a pretty good support system too.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. They do training or is it just mostly so they do training and help you source equipment and the whole nine?
A lot of what they do is marketing training and operations training, specifically mitigation, because that's all that their systems are for.
Nice.
But in the past, part of the questions that I'm taking to the table on Friday are related to the marketing methods not being as effective now as they were before for territories. With rising plumber costs.
Things are changing. Things are changing so fast.
So. And I think that there's a lot of that. I mean, there's a lot of More Floods members that, canceled or stopped working with them because they had to find something different. They had to find other programs that worked. Our territory hasn't had the issues with plumber fees rising. I mean, ours are really low. We just raised ours after 8 years. Mm-hmm. We raised them $50. I mean, so we don't have the issue like other
But we market a little bit differently too. We don't push just the plumber money. We push what value we are to the plumbing company. And we work with the owner and have the owner assign us to his plumbers to refer us. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's more of an organized, less ad hoc, $50 in your pocket type thing. It's more organized.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we stopped really pushing just solely the plumber money a while ago. That's why we've been able to keep them so low.
Yep.
Good. It's more of a partnership, and it'll stand the test of time. So it's good. Blaine Perry, my God, where have you been all my life? Here's this guy. Bud? I've been tracking you. I keep an eye on you, man. What's it been? 4 years? 5 years? Yeah, I think 5 years. We had a phone call 5 years ago. I was just starting writing Xactimate estimates, and I don't remember where you were. I remember that phone call, though. I remember where I was.
I've been all over.
Hey, man. All right. Introduce yourself to the group, man. Where you at? What are you doing?
My name's Blaine. I've been doing this lovely thing for about 20 years now. I've worked at a lot of different companies all over, more on the west side. Right now I'm with a kind of a startup. I would say it's a Roto-Rooter franchise in Spokane. I saw this coming 4 or 5 years ago. These plumbers not wanting to pay referral fees and seeing how much money there is to be made. So I don't know. It's a challenge right now. I've only been with these guys a couple months. They've been doing restoration for about just a year now, and they're starting to see changes already, which is cool. the owner's buying to Dash already, which is cool. It's a big thing for me.
What is?
And I don't know.
How much does Dash cost now on a monthly basis?
It's over 850, almost $900, but the prices are going up soon, like at the end of October, man. So
Woof.
yeah,
Woof.
I know.
Okay.
When I first started working with Dash, man, it was like $250 a month, and of course it wasn't anything like it is now. But you know, I like what they've got. I don't think anyone else can touch what they're doing or where they're going. And I don't know. I just think it's the best thing out there right now. So we're looking forward to that and raising the bar, brother.
That's way more than Xactimate.
Oh yeah,
like a lot. Okay. Well.
Hey, have you guys seen the new claim? Andy, can you hear me?
I can, man. What's up?
Hey, while they're here, have you guys checked out the new claim experience product from Xactware? Answer to the Dash portal?
No.
We're piloting down here. I think it's a really compelling platform. I'm familiar with both, and it's wildly cheaper, especially right now.
Well,
So,
isn't that just as, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like, I've never used it. Isn't that like a desk adjuster sitting back watching a video that somebody else walks through a property on? What is that?
Yeah. So that's a small part of that utility. So that's like how they've kind of sold it, in that it's this video collaboration. If they're selling it to the carrier, right, that's their unique value proposition. But I think for those on the call right now, in terms of what really made Next Gear Solution Dash product really compelling, in my view, was they were the first one to really lean into the portal concept. Like, here's your URL, and here's where everything is. Here's all the documents and claim documents associated with this file. And so Exact is now offering that solution, and it's like on a per job basis, but it's like dirt cheap compared to what the numbers we're talking about from Dash right now. And it costs $5,000 to onboard Dash at a small company. So it's a big nut.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I'm not vested in it. I haven't tested it long enough to like, I haven't tested it long enough to say that it's definitely the way to go. But I'll continue to keep you guys informed as we pilot it over here. It's just something to take a look at. That's a big chunk of change every month.
Oh, it's gigantic. It's gigantic. Hey, we got a couple other new guys here. Sean Ivory. I'm gonna unmute you now, Sean. What's up, brother? Where are you guys at? Sean? Maybe?
They're playing in the warehouse.
They're playing in the warehouse. All right, I'll mute it. All right, that's fine. We'll come around the horn here. Who is 2940? What is that? Who is that? 260-410-2940. Who is that? Oh, I'm sorry. Hello?
There you go. Unmute me. Chris Laney.
Oh, it's Chris. Oh, I thought or did you call and you're videoing in? That's cheating. That's like two. That's like double duty.
Hey, I can cheat.
Yeah, I've seen you do it.
Technical. I'm not very savvy with this shit. I just, hey, that's just the way I got to do it.
I get it. Looks like you're in a hotel room. What are you up to, Chris?
Oh, just hanging out in Florida still.
Okay.
Hopefully, so, yeah, we're just down here working.
You at the southern tip, or are you in the mid? Where are you? What part of the state?
We're in Orlando right now.
Okay.
We're just finishing up. We just finished doing 200 units at two different complexes on a student housing project. And then we'll see. We're either going to head home on Friday, or we might head down to Fort Myers, or if something else comes up, we'll go do that. But at this point, we're just finishing up this project for this client.
Good for you guys. Good for you guys. All right, Sean Ivory is chiming in via chat. He says, I'm in New Jersey, too many people here. All right, got it, Sean. Go ahead, Chris.
What were you guys discussing with More Floods? I kind of came on a few minutes after you guys started. I was a More Floods member for 8 years and pretty versed on the process. I still speak with some of the people that Greg and let go actually pretty closely on a weekly basis. So
yeah, Dave said they're going to a conference on Friday, or is Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Something like that. I'm sorry.
Just Friday.
Just Friday. Okay.
it's the More Floods the annual conference.
It's the owners roundtable. Sorry, Dave.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no,
Gotcha.
the owners roundtable, they just started doing that last year.
Okay.
So the first one is out at Pedro Perez, PRC,
Pedro?
out in where's he?
LA.
LA.
California. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
We joined More Floods back in 2008, and we were with them until I don't know, it was 2015 or last year. I think it was last year that we dropped out. And I think the challenge that they have right now is every time you watch a webinar, it's the same webinar you would have watched in 2009. At least that's the way it was last year when we dropped out. And the information that they're giving to people is pretty dated, like you guys were talking about as I kind of came on. Things have changed. But I will say that for any mitigation only company that really wants to develop a very organized administrative side and marketing stuff, does give you that, and it will help you for sure. I think the biggest thing with their system that we found was making sure you follow it step by step. You veer off that system and it doesn't work real well. We stayed on it, and it did help us grow drastically and gain clients. But the system does get to a point that if you grow big enough that they can't really provide you anything further. But to get you from doing, maybe if somebody's doing $250,000 to $500,000 in sales and mitigation a year, and you want to get to, $1 million, $1.5 million mitigation only, it's a good system to help get you there. But some of the stuff is dated.
Well,
yeah, but great people.
Good. Yeah, it sounds like a great outfit and great people. But that goes with any system. I mean, I preach a 24-hour tech, obviously, but if you don't follow the steps, it's worthless to you. I don't know if I ever told you all about the time I went into the biggest ServPro franchise in Arizona, and I sat down with the owner there, and she said, she owned 5 or 6 different offices throughout the state, and she said the only reason we're so successful, she said, you want to know why we're so successful? I said, yeah, let me know. And she points behind me in this conference room in this bookshelf full of green books. It's their system. She said the folks that buy the system and read it and follow it, they're successful. But the franchisees, no matter what system you're buying into, that buy the system, but then you say, you know what, I got a better way, it never works. It just never works. The system's there for a reason.
And we recently joined Dash too, just like Blaine and all those guys. And I talked to Blaine about it before we joined Dash, and we've been using it religiously now for about months, and it is expensive. We got it before the price raised, but it is all about developing a system from phone call through collections. And also on that front end of that marketing. And the more you can systematize your business in whatever you're doing, the better off you are, I think. And it's a challenge, I think, in this industry. But those types of places like More Floods and Dash are great support systems. But you can grow out of those systems for sure. Yeah.
Well, Clark, I know you've just been sitting there so patiently to say something. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and call on you, young man. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I can hear you. What's your story? What's your story this week? How was it? You survived. You resisted the urge to come to one of these magnificent cat events. So how's that treating you?
No, everything's good. Actually just got back home tonight. No, everything was really good. It tastes and smells and feels just like it did last time I did it. Teamed up with another rebel. Had a really, really good experience, and I think more of those types of things will breed great results in the future for everyone that just team up with the right people with like-minded situations, and it kind of works,
Amen. Oh, wait a minute. So you took some equipment down south?
Yeah, I did. Didn't even tell you.
I've been busy.
You know what? You're in your own world. You're not listening to anybody. Yeah, I helped
Andrew, it's in his blood. It's in his blood. He can't stop. It's in his blood.
It is. It really is.
I did. There was a discussion. There was a project in South Carolina that I helped another member. It was that person was more than capable of running that job, but the timeline that it needed to happen in and the amount of equipment that had to happen with the current situation with all the hurricanes and everything that are going on, it was just like the perfect storm and a culmination of joining forces and knocking it out to make the customer happy for a better, longer relationship for that other member. So I was glad to do it. We're still going to be there for a couple more days, but just in and out.
Hey, Clark, it's Chris.
Hey,
I think the one that maybe, I mean, you've chased a whole lot more than I have, but this is my 9th hurricane, and I think the difference that I look at it with some experience versus some of the guys that are going on their first, second rodeo, you kind of just did the same thing in South Carolina as we did to coming to Florida. You didn't chase. And, when we came to Florida, we knew we had 2 complexes that we needed to tackle. And we didn't come down here knowing we were going to just try to find something. And I think that a lot of people need to look at some of that when they're looking to travel, build those relationships before the storm happens, just like you did and we did. And it does make these events simpler and easier, I believe.
Well, yeah, I'll speak on that. Then I do want to pass the phone around, but I will tell you, of my, I don't know, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 jobs, whatever, the worst experiences were always the ones that were received. Those were, and the way I look at it, and forgive me, I see one female on the call here. Hi, Jennifer. It's like if you're trying to chase a girl and everybody else has a date, you're probably going to get the date that everyone else didn't want to get. I look at people that chase and clients that hire people that just walk up without a pedigree and hand them a business card. That customer did not do their homework. They don't understand their business. They weren't comprehensive enough about their risk and to keep their business going. And I think you'll end up with 2 partners trying to work together that don't really have the best interest in mind of both. So I've always had the best results from relationships that were formed either long before or very, very recently. I mean, everybody tries you out on the small jobs first, but the worst experiences I ever had were chases. You want to be invited, you want to be welcomed, and you want to have someone that trusts you, or other they're going to be over your shoulder every second of the moment trying to reinvent how you're doing things.
You're exactly right. And perfect example happened this week. I've been working 8-10-hour days. I leave the hotel in the morning. I come home late at night, just busting my butt. But last 4 or 5 days in a row, every time I'm here, I pass, I'm not even going to call them out, 2 different franchise trucks in the parking lot. And they're there in the morning when I leave, and they're there at night when I'm there, when I come back. So that told me that they didn't have a lot of work down here. So I found them. I actually saw them in the lobby this weekend, Sunday night. And I said, what are you guys doing? They're like, yeah, we're looking for work. We're kind of busy, which means they didn't have shit going on. And so I just got a phone call right then. Hey, from adjuster, a friend of a friend said, hey, we got 2 hours south of here. We got 4 or 5 claims I need to handle. Do you know anybody? I just looked at the guy and I said, are you ready to go? And he's like, what do you mean? And so I gave him that lead. I gave him the adjuster's name. And they're working all week. They got 4, 5, 6 claims down there, but they didn't have the plan going in. And they were about to lose their ass. They had 6 guys here. They had 4 trucks. And it's expensive. But they didn't have a plan going in. And they happen to know Restoration Rebel, who looks out for the water techs of the world. And we made it happen. But you can't rely on that. You can't rely on just showing up. And because you're knocking on doors, and I'm sure the same thing has happened in Florida. They're knocking on doors, and people are looking at them like they're criminals. because the media has already said there's tons of contractors out here to take advantage of you. And, when the reality is the exact opposite. There's not enough contractors to take care of people, but
Why don't I have it?
they're not getting well received. You can't just knock on doors and hope to get work, even though people need your services.
Hey, let me address one more thing right quick, just because most everyone here, or a lot of everyone here, I've been asked probably 8 times or so in the last couple of days, and I've made posts about it, but I am aware that everyone is very, very busy, especially those that are involved with any kind of storm work. We are having the summit. I have been asked about that again multiple times by not only attendees but also sponsors. And I think it's a good question. I think, it just seems unreal that we're still having it. But I think the truth is that the majority of the people are going are small and medium sized. There aren't any big monster national brands going because they either aren't feeling the pain that we're talking about yet, or they're just too busy. But I think that the leadership and the owners that are going to our event are not, even if they are involved in the storms, they're not necessarily, well, except for Mr. Laney there, but he's coming home. He promised he'd be there. I think brains and bodies and mindsets need to be at this event, and I think they're all going. I think we have 1 or 2 people who said it's probably not going to happen for me, but I think out of everybody that we had committed, I think we're well over 80% going. So we are having the event.
I just finalized the menu today, so it's on, like
Okay.
Donkey Kong.
So I just wanted to point that out, and again, I'll post that up again this week on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Yeah, it's perfect. We're going to have a great turnout, and if people don't show up, they're going to be missing out on something very special. I've got a really, I almost tear up. I got goosebumps right now just talking about it. How much positive, good energy has come just because we laid it out there. We just said, hey, this is what we're going to do, and then people responded. Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, you were breaking. I thought you were done talking. Tell everybody about what OP's offering.
Oh, OP. Oh, he's giving every attendee full free access to his Restoration Mastery audio program, which is a full, I think he said 16 hours of audio courses on what him and Tim have put together as far as leadership and building a restoration company and brand, and showing people how he has become so successful in his local market. So everyone that shows up gets that audio program. We didn't have this call to pimp the thing, though. I mean, I think people realize there's value there. Always beat closing.
Take a minute and say that I was really looking forward to coming to the summit, but with what's going on with Norb, we had to split up. So
right. Maybe
next year we could try to schedule those apart from each other. And I had to pick the beach. Like
if Norb, I mean, okay, I'm just gonna hold my breath. Okay. Yes.
They are. I'm
gonna say yes.
Yeah. We didn't know Whitney when we booked this, but now that we
did not.
Whitney and us and Whitney have promised that we would be well months apart from each other with any other conferences.
Okay. I had to do that. Dave doesn't like to be hot, so I had to take it for the team.
Me either, brother.
I think Dave's very hot.
Oh, hello. Oh, damn.
I think he's pretty hot too.
All right, it's a family show. Oh man.
Who is Danny?
Can I ask a question? What is the link then? If you didn't know Whitney and Norb prior to everything, what is the link? Because like when I talked to Whitney, he said Restoration Rebel is like our West Coast chapter. Like what is the link?
Well, the link is he reached out via phone one day and we had a 2-hour conversation about where the industry was going, and we realized we were on the same page. And I said I'd support him in any way I could, and if I if he needs a West Coast representative to fly the flag, I'll be more than happy to do that. But that's about as far as it went.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've said this a couple of times, and I know we don't want to pimp it out, but NORP is the bigger, broader organization that's trying to bring a lot of things together. This Rebels is just like a subchapter, if you will. But I don't
know if I'd say that, Clark, but
I don't know if subchapter is the right word. Yeah, but something. We're something.
Well, here's
we're something.
We're something. See, Norm. See what Wiseman's trying to do is create a framework and a rule set and a set of standards and things like that. What we're trying to do is give people permission to tell folks, no, this is not how we're going to do this. I'm going to play a different game. You have permission to say no. You have permission to do things differently than these powers that be tell you, to the way it's done. And back to the we don't pay for that argument. Well, fuck you. I'm charging for it. All right. And my company guidelines don't adhere to your TPA guidelines, and that's okay. And as soon as, and I think I've got a meme out there that says this, as soon as you start worrying about my company's bottom line, I'll start worrying about your rules. But until you worry about my profitability and my clients and my employees, you can take your rules and shove them up your ass. I think that's where we kind of vary, NORP, Rebel.
That's the Rebel slogan. You can take your rules and shove it up.
Shove them. It might not play well, in normal circles, but
there might be a different approach. Tell them to shove it up their ass, but oh well.
Oh man. What else is new?
There's a lot of stuff going on in the industry right now, man. I mean,
it's so in the air.
It's mind-boggling. You've got Kabir and Jim doing the imaging stuff. You've got Ken Larson and Lauren doing their thing, which is everything's kind of tied together, And what I've been seeing lately is a lot of not togetherness, I guess.
And not togetherness. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And, really, we're all looking for the same end, taking care of the property, taking care of maybe not taking care of the customer necessarily, but looking out for what's best for the property. I had an adjuster call me today. I won't mention the name of the company, but they were definitely not on my side. We did a $26,000 mitigation loss close to home here, and then another like $7-8 grand in content work and stuff. Well, he called me today, and hey, I need about your mitigation bill. Yeah, we need to.
Oh wait, he called it a bill? Good for him. Good for him. He didn't call it an estimate. All right.
Oh no! Right, my shit says invoice right on it, man. There's no pay me what you feel like kind of stuff.
Hell yes.
So he says, can you take 10% off your bill?
Just right out, just like that.
Just like that, man. So well, for what? What is it? Well, we don't like to pay for drying over 3 days. Well, this was a house that had probably been wet for several months. In a basement, concrete basement. It was a spigot freeze break, old lady, only went downstairs every now and then, didn't know, that kind of a thing. So anyway, they covered the loss, which I was surprised by, and, that was pretty cool. But then the comments were, well, what about, these, admin hours? There was like 2 or 3 admin hours and hazmat supervisor hours. Cause we were, anyway, it was justified.
Yep.
And, well, get back to me and let me know. Well, I told him, if there's something wrong with the estimate that you disagree with, let me know. But fuck, man, 10% right off the top so I can get it paid. So if I don't buckle, you're not going to pay it, Anyway, I'm more excited about this thing next week than really anything, man, because now's the time. Shit's going down and things are changing and it's moving super fast. And it's good to be, associated with guys like you guys that I talk to and I respect that have the same kind of vision and focus that I do. So
what night are you flying in? What are you flying in Friday morning early or flying in Thursday?
No, man, I'm driving. I'm going to drive probably leaving Thursday morning, be there Thursday late afternoon, check in.
Nice.
I understand we're going to get together, maybe have a couple beers or something.
Yeah. Dooley's going to be in town, right? Dooley, when are you hitting town?
I booked my first flight, but my second flight I'm hoping for Wednesday.
Okay, perfect.
From Houston or San Juan, I'm not sure yet.
Sweet. When are you hitting town?
About midday Thursday.
Okay, perfect. Laney?
We come in on Wednesday.
Wednesday. And Clark, when are you hitting town?
About lunchtime on Thursday.
Okay, perfect. It'll be a party. Once again, we didn't have this phone call to pimp out the thing, but it is next week, just so you know. Blaine, you touched on a couple things. A couple different folks doing different things. Can you expand on that? What are you seeing other people do along the vein of different and new?
Well,
what are you seeing?
A lot of the talk right now, obviously, is depending on, I guess, where you're at in the country. Florida, it's, the conversations are consumed by Citizens Insurance, and what the freaky laws are down there and what they're doing. But the main thing amongst non-program type people seems to be the TPAs, of course. Well, I think that, we're this again, going back to the 2.0 thing, we're, I think, looking at things the same way, but as the RIA can and what they're doing and, looking after the structure first and all that. I think there's a lot of individualism happening there amongst the groups, and really everybody, not everybody, but this group that I'm proud to be a part of, Ken, who I respect dearly, and, a lot of the other players, the folks that you were just talking about, is it Norman, whatever that is. So, I mean, there's a lot of different people after the same thing. And really the bottom line is it's change. We've been getting bullied by these people, these insurance companies for a lot of years. And a lot of the new blood in this industry, they start like with a ServPro or a Service Master or whatever, and they think that what their program rules tell them is law.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. It's not even close, man. I had an adjuster. I had an adjuster call me the other day. So, well, we don't pay admin hours. Well, I spent the time. You've got the report that you wanted, all the moisture logs, all of this and all of that. The time's justified. Yeah. Oh, no, that's just a cost of doing business. Oh, dude, I almost blew my cork. Cost of business.
Don't talk about my cost, buddy. Talking about my cost. You're talking about my wife. Come on. Easy now.
Yeah, man. And if it's a cost of doing business, then I should be billing for it, right?
Yes.
If I was doing a T&M type of a billing format, every freaking minute would be billed for, every quarter roll of tape, So, I think these guys, they push to see what they can get back.
They've got a list of questions. They got a list of questions.
Man. And the mitigation specialists are one of my favorite group of people. These, well, we don't pay for that, and we're not going to pay that, and we can't authorize payment, and I tell them, and they send me these emails, of course, without including the homeowner.
Of course.
So, and I don't dig that, man. And, my response is always pretty clear, pretty straightforward, and depending on the tone, I may or may not include the customer, but most times I do. I'm not on your program. My contract's with the homeowner. My conversation with you is out of courtesy. Period.
Yes. Period. End of story.
Hey, I have a question. What is there a business besides apparently ours and the medical field that does work for free? I mean, we should
exactly
do everything.
Exactly.
I've never ever heard of a business that went in saying, "Hey, I hope I make 50% of my intended profit. So thank you for fucking me in the ass. Like,
Exactly.
Start.
No, it's true. You're 100%. You're 100% accurate.
Well, I just don't understand who came up with this? Like, who was the passive person that owned the mitigation company and had the adjuster go, "I'm not paying you," and they were like, "Okay."
If I had to guess, I would say it was a franchise, but
it's that dangling of the carrot, man. If you agree to these terms, we're going to give you all this work. And you still hear people talking about it today. They consider it good relations, and there's so many good people that are on these programs, and there are a lot of good people on the program stuff. But a lot of times their corporate offices are making these deals at a level way above anybody else without any consideration for the operation.
Yeah, they're writing checks at the corporate level, at the national level, that the local guys' asses have to cash, and it's not fair. So, nope. Drew, you've had your hand up for a while, buddy. Can I unmute you and see what you had to say? Oh, there we go. What's up, Drew? Mr. Blackwell.
Hey, man. I wanted to kind of chime in on what Clark had to say. Clark came and helped me out this week in South Carolina on one of my projects. And so the post earlier on the format on Facebook was directed towards him and a couple other people on here. But he came down here with about 12 of his guys and helped me out take care of a national client that I've got a pretty good relationship with that I've been trying to build. And he just left today, but his guys are still here. They're actually still working right now, working on some stuff for me. So I just wanted to say thanks to Clark and a couple other people on here, but they're not on the call. But he did come out and send his guys on here to help me out. So.
Amen, man. That's what it's about. I was so glad to hear that. Plus, Clark got to pretend that he was going to a cat, so that made him happy.
It's a pretty good cat. I mean, it's a fun job. It's about 250 condos that got hit, and
that's good size.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. There's about 60% of them are affected. We had to go assess all of them, and
oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt. Chris just got a hospital loss. I am out. Chris Laney, go get it, buddy. Rock and roll.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome. All right, sorry, Drew.
No, that's fine. So there's about 125 units we're working on. So
good deal. Wow.
Yep.
That's a good size. I've only been in 850 apartments over the last 2 weeks.
Well, you and I are working for the same people right now, Andy. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. You're good folks. I don't mind saying it. ATI, great freaking company, man.
They're good guys. I did a pretty large project for them in Atlanta that I just wrapped up about a month ago, and developed a pretty good relationship with some of the guys I was working with, and they have decided to use me some more on some other projects. So I'm trying to.
One of my favorite guys out there in the world, Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if you guys have picked up on that or not.
I follow him, yeah.
Huge Gary Vaynerchuk fan. And one of his quotes, his best quotes in the world is doing the right thing is always the right thing.
Yep.
You ask yourself, what's the right thing? Well, do the right thing. Don't there's no wavering. There's no gray area in the right thing. And there's a company in ATI that they believe in doing that. Whatever is right. ATI Restoration, they got about 10 offices coast to coast. They got a Tampa office. They got an office here in Houston. They got one up in Dallas, Phoenix, L.A., San Diego. Colorado. Oh, Colorado. I didn't know they were there.
Yeah, they got one in Colorado, Denver.
For them to be by us.
Say what?
So we're probably too small for them to be by us.
What part of the country are you guys in?
Wisconsin.
Say that? Wisconsin. Yeah, I don't think they're up that far yet. But yeah, I'm in a great company.
Good guys.
Yeah. Kevin Dooley, where you been all my life, man? I saw you looking for ductwork. Did you find some ductwork today?
Hey, buddy. Yeah, I just got back to the camp, setting up 10 desks this morning or this afternoon.
Nice.
Doing well. Tired. Looking forward to Bend.
Dude, it's going to be epic. And it snowed on the mountain, so there's no fires. Oh, we can't quite snowboard yet, but there's snow there.
I was actually thinking about skiing all day today.
Yeah.
Sweat in 30 some odd degrees Celsius weather.
It's too hot here. It's too hot for life. I don't know how people do it. I mean, how do y'all do it? I mean, David Sweet, how do you do it? Besides the fact that I caught you, on camera a couple weeks ago without your shirt on.
I know that was a real treat for you. We sweat a lot, dude.
It burned it in my brain.
Sweat a lot. That's what we do.
God.
Profusely all the time.
I mean, the wind is all but useless when it's 90-degree relative.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But hey, the ISCRC calculation for dehumidification, if it actually existed, is all the dehumidification needed in the structure. No chance there's any infiltration. No, nothing like that. Yeah. They love my drying plan. So you need 3 DUs to overcome what's coming in from outside? Like, yeah, it's 175 grains per pound outside, and the house leaks like a sieve. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Thick. Oh, man, that's brutal. Oh. Well, what else is going on, boys? I'm all out of ideas. It's been a long week. Long 3 weeks. Watley's on the phone. Caleb Willis. Oh, who's that guy? That's a new face. Caleb Willis, sound off. What's your deal? Nothing? Bueller. That's just the way it goes. Well, hey, we're going on 50 minutes. How about we cut out a little early? Anyone want to have any parting words before we shut off for the week? We're going to do this again next Wednesday. Oh, I got a special treat. Why don't we all do this Wednesday with all the leaders of the Restoration 2.0? No, you're flying in. You're flying in Thursday. Oh, okay, never mind.
Sorry, guys, I won't be there. You can't do it.
You can't do it. All right, we won't. We will hold off for you, Jennifer. We will.
Thank you.
We will wait. We will be. I will be Han Solo next Wednesday, prepping for the Restoration 2.0 Summit, which is going to be phenomenal. Do you know? I'm going to tell one more thing about why Oregon has the best beer, because I can, and we're going to sample some. I will make sure that we have all the best beer, because I can sit in a garden or in a grassed area playing cornhole, drinking a beer, and I look up, and there's this big container where the beer came from, and I look over this way, and there's a big mountain where the water melted, into that river I'm staring at where the beer came from. And it doesn't get any fresher than that. Oh, and the hops were made grown 20 miles away. It is, I know your mouths are watering. Those of you that appreciate beer, you just can taste it. It just doesn't get any fresher than that. Well, I love you all. This is, I can't say it enough. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate you guys being a part of this group and giving back to the group. And the way I've seen this group come together and give and share and collaborate, this is what the future of the restoration industry looks like, and upward and onward.
I'm looking forward to seeing you, brother.
Yeah. I need a big hug. I need a Perry hug.
I give you one. Especially after a couple of those Oregon beers, brother.
A couple of those Oregon beers.
I don't know.
I've seen we do it.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We're out for now. See you next week.
Peace.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.